What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Smackdown Aftershow. We're here to break down everything WWE Smackdown and also give you our picks for Money in the Bank this Sunday. I'm Josh Tariff. Gabby and Brian both off this week. They'll be back next week. Don't worry, though. I got the OG with me. Tom Connolly's hanging out.
I'm going to whisper the whole time because the babies are sleeping.
And we're in store for a very exciting show.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
Babies are sleeping, but it's okay. I can talk in a regular voice. No raging this week. I can't.
It might not be a lot of raging per se, but I don't really think there was a lot of stuff that happened this week that would deserve a rage. I thought overall SmackDown was decent as far as trying to build up for the last show before Money in the Bank. I thought they did a fairly good job. A couple of things maybe I would have changed a little bit, but nothing that made me upset per se.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was actually it was pretty good. I mean, it pushed everything where we needed to go, and it wasn't. I thought it was one of the better SmackDowns in the last couple of weeks. It wasn't. I wasn't bored as I feel like I have been, with super long matches where you're just like, okay, like where are we going with this? I thought it was just it was a very well put together SmackDown to lead into Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and the show starts with what's definitely been, as we've talked about on the show, the best feud going on SmackDown between Mandy and Sonya. So we're hyping up that they're finally going one-on-one tonight. We go to the back. Mandy is getting ready. Otis comes up to her, asking, being the good boyfriend. He's like, is there anything I can do to help? And, Mandy's just like, no, don't worry. I'm going to take care of this. Gives him a nice peck on the cheek. Walks to the ring. We flip over to Sonya and Dolph. So all of a sudden we go from like good people to bad people. And and Sonya's just, she's like ready to explode because she's like, about this 5 years worth of beatings that I'm about to give to her. And Dolph's just like, just go easy on the face for me. Kind of like how that looks. And so I don't want you to ruin it. No promises from Sonya. And then she walks away. And we just jump right into that match. There's no additional hype headed in. We've gotten a lot of hype between the last few weeks, and we just bounce right into it. First off, Sonya's new gear. So as far as what she wore during the match, we saw her debut that at Mania, so she's worn that a little bit. But like the long jacket that she wore heading onto the ramp. And then we talked a little bit last week about her almost kind of being like a Victoria type thing. She's just the crazy one. Mm-hmm. She's standing at the top of the ramp, putting her hands on her head, like going like this, like Victoria did.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it was like, ooh, okay, I like this. I like what I'm seeing. And along with that also, Mandy, I wish Mandy came out second. They had Mandy come out first. Because I wanted Mandy to come out second and just charge the ring. But Mandy came out first, and here's part of like and maybe make just like a slight change. She came out to the ring with a purpose. She wasn't doing her little flaunting. She didn't do her pose before she enters the ring. She means business. She was ignoring the foggy background like we talked about on the show.
Yeah.
But then she started posing because the music just kept playing. It's like, what? Like, well, she's got to think of something to do because the music's still going, so I guess I got to pose. And that's why I'm like, if Sonya came out first, did her thing, and Mandy came out, stood at the ramp, saw her, and just bolted to the ring, and they started like they did with Mandy just attacking her from the bell, I think it would have made it even better.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. Because I just think, I mean, I also liked how aggressive she was at first. I was not expecting that at all. To just, almost trying to hit her finisher in the first move of the match.
Yeah.
That running knee.
Yeah, both her and Sonya, very aggressive. This was a very short match, which was fine because we know this isn't the end of it. They're going to go a lot longer with this feud. But you had Mandy being more aggressive than we ever seen her. Sonya being more diabolical, like ripping the eyelashes off of Mandy. They brought a little on the outside of the ring. towards the finish. Mandy went for her running knee. Sonya ducks, rolls her up, hand on the tights. Sonya gets the win, which I feel is the right move at this point in the feud. Let the heel get one up on Mandy. And, Michael Cole was like, this is one of the most emotional matches I've ever seen. It's like, I don't know about that. It was about 4 to 5 minutes. I don't know about that, but it's a good start for this feud because this can't be the end of it. They're going to keep going with stuff because you still have Ziggler still infatuated with Mandy. Sonya still wants to destroy Mandy. And Otis is around. So it's, this ain't the end. And I love what they're doing with the two of them. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I thought by far the best match either of them ever had on TV. And I think it also comes down to how you always hear everyone talk about like, oh, if I'm in there with my best friend, then, we can have a great match because you already have like great chemistry together. And we also are not going to hold back on each other as well. Like, I feel like you always hear like Charlotte and Becky talk about their matches. Like, they're just like beating the crap out of each other because they know that like, the more real you're making it, the more people are going to believe what you're doing. And not just kind of like barely laying stuff in. If you're laying it in hard, then people are going to be like, oh my gosh, like she's beating the crap out of her. And I love Sonya, like when she had her in that like triangle hold kind of thing, like around the waist hole. And she's like, when she ripped off the eyelashes and then she's like, oh, I like just being like, oh, I love this. This is so good. Like I'm doing, this is so much fun. Like, I feel like you wouldn't get like, that's one thing I think helps with the no crowd is that you can hear them more in the ring when they're talking, when they're saying things out loud.
Yeah.
Not literally, not calling spots, but just talking in the match. Like, so it gives us more perspective of like, oh, you're getting an insight inside their mind of what they're thinking as they're doing these moves to each other. But yeah, I thought it was the best match that either of them both had. It was aggressive. When she threw Sonya over that table, like she just tossed her over the whole table. She didn't even touch the table.
and I really like this with Sonya because when you break down when Sonya first really came on to whether it's NXT, Raw, SmackDown, whatever it was, they were touting her as a former MMA fighter. So was Ronda Rousey. So was Shayna Baszler. With all due respect to Sonya, of the three, she's had the least amount of success in MMA. So you can't just have her be another MMA person when you're, especially the way they're booking Shayna on Raw as this monster. Yeah. So we got to find something that makes Sonya stand out. And they're doing it with the crazy, angry, aggressive, but it's not necessarily full on, doing all these MMA holds or things like that. So like they're finding ways that she could still use some MMA stuff, but not treat her like a former MMA fighter. And I think that's actually going to put Sonya on that next level because as soon as you call her MMA, you're thinking Ronda and Shayna. And that's going to make you think less of her to an extent. But between the end of this year or early next year, if they keep doing with Sonya what they're doing now, she's going to be top of the women's division, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think, this is something they could stretch out for a while. Like, they kind of break off and go other ways and then, come back together to where and this is where I hate that one of them's not in Money in the Bank because either if one of them could win it, because I don't know how many times we've ever really seen, I'd have to think of like a Money in the Bank where like someone interrupted someone's cash in. Like we've seen Cena kind of do it with Corbin when Corbin cashed in.
Yeah, Cena got interrupted.
But most of the time, there's not really any like. Normally, it's like they'll beat down the champion and then someone will come out and cash in. But we never see like someone else get involved and make that person cashing in lose a lot. So that's just like a thing where I think we haven't seen it, and I just I mean, it depends who you're doing it with. I think if for some reason, like, they ever going to turn New Day bad, like, you give one of them the briefcase and then the other two turn on him, like, before he can cash in, like, that would just rocket whoever, if it's a turn like that where you just don't see it coming. Like, just think if a New Day had Money in the Bank, you go, oh, they're definitely winning. There's 3 of them. So the other 2 will just stop. If anything, they'll just help him win. To see someone turn on them is something, get crazy heat on the other person.
I mean, and that's a good point you bring up. And it's funny because, like, last year, both cash-ins were successful, but you almost forget about them. Because
I was going to say who had Money in the Bank?
Bailey and Brock.
I can't remember.
Brock.
That was last year. Brock had it. Oh my gosh! What year are we in now? Like 2036?
Pretty much. But so, like, we forget that, and then you look at the previous 2 years, or maybe 2 of the last 3. I don't remember the exact order, but you had Braun cash in. But schedule cash in and lose.
Yeah, but that was
and you had the Corbin cash in and lose.
Mm.
So it's just we really haven't had a meaningful cash in a few years. The women's Carmella's was probably the best women's cash in because that's really the only one I remember.
Yeah. I mean, they did put a video up of Bailey's from last year, which I don't know. I'm sure I watched the pay-per-view. I don't really remember, but watching it back again, that, a shorter version where you're like not watching a whole pay-per-view and it happens, the crowd was really into it, I thought. Really like hyped for it. And yeah, Carmella's was probably the best. Wait, and then now I'm like trying to think, who did Brock cash in on? Because I don't even remember now.
On Rollins at Extreme Rules.
Oh, was that after he had a match?
After that mixed tag match with Becky Lacey and
Oh, yeah. Okay. See, like, I don't even remember. Like, but that's like, it's not memorable. Like, it wasn't at all.
Right.
Like, at the time, I think you were like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. But now going like, okay, yeah, I don't even remember. If you would have asked me when he cashed in, I would have said he held it until the Fox premiere, and that's when he cashed in. And he said that's where I'm using my Money in the Bank.
That's when we said we wanted that to happen.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's where we wanted that to happen. But he cashed in on Rollins, eventually lost the title to Rollins, then showed up on Fox, and then just won the title on SmackDown.
And then went to Raw.
and then just left SmackDown and went back to Raw.
I mean, that's a good trivia question. What superstar would ever switch shows while being champion? I think Lesnar's the only one where he went from being on Raw to SmackDown as champion and was exclusively on SmackDown years ago.
Unless you were drafted or like the lottery where they had champion switch.
But no, well, yeah, exactly. But he wasn't like drafted. He like went to SmackDown. Right. I'm exclusively on SmackDown now, and then then he went from SmackDown to Raw with the title.
Who knows?
Yeah.
8-man tag team action: the New Day and Lucha House Party versus Forgotten Sons and Miz and Morrison. All 4 of these teams will be competing in a fatal 4-way tag title match at Money in the Bank. This match, honestly, I wasn't really into it until like the last 2.5-3 minutes of this match. Then it was just poetry in motion.
Yeah.
Everyone was in their right spot at the right time, and it just flowed so well by everyone. It eventually ends with a skull-crushing finale on Lince Dorado. Morrison died like 3 times during this match.
I was like, what is he doing? 2 times he like was right on the top of his head. Like,
how about he did like a Samoan drop and immediately like backflipped out of it or something crazy.
I was like, what is this? Yeah, Corey Graves was like, I don't even know what to call that move. And then trying to do the Starship Pain and
land on his feet. Dude's unreal. Dude's unreal.
I just wanted a singles match with him and Lindsay Dorado. After seeing the two of them, because and also Lucha House Party, they need a title run. Like they need something, because both of those guys are impressive, and if they have any like inkling of getting, because also like there's no real like Latino like they are on SmackDown. Like, you know, we have like Andrade and everyone else on Raw.
Right.
It's like
we don't have it on SmackDown. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's like those guys are perfect, and they're super. I don't know. They're super athletic. Like just
they're just not good talkers. They're not good talkers. Yeah. So that's why they're not used as much.
Give them Zelina Vega, put her on both shows. Then if you're gonna do that, make her just have some huge stable of people, and she just jumps from show to show.
This huge Latino stable and Austin Theory.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not against it.
He could be like the Owen Hart of the group.
He's the nugget. He's the nugget of the group. Oh, God. Brief promo with Corbin in the back, just bragging how he's going to win Money in the Bank. Nobody wants to be down to Bryan and Drew Gulak's partner. That was that. Nothing big there. Jeff Hardy promo. I found this really interesting for a few different reasons. Number one, Renee Young lives in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm. I always think this every time.
They haven't used her on television. I mean, obviously she's been doing WWE backstage, but she hasn't been used on TV because, you know, you got Kayla there, you got Sarah there. I think you got Mike Rome out there. You got people. You got Mackenzie, who's doing more stuff on NXT. Why did you have to fly Renee from Vegas to ask one question to Jeff Hardy, and then she leaves the ring?
I don't know. I think it's just them being like, "Hey, we need you. We may need you for something else, so you might as well come on out."
Oh,
I don't know. I mean,
her one question was, "What do you have left to prove?" And Jeff talks about how every low has taught me how to get back up, and just trying to be motivated. Like, I've been to the bottom, trying to get to the top for all of you at home. I still feel you, even though you're not here. Sheamus watching the back, not impressed. It's interesting. Sheamus leaves to head to the ring, and after he heads to the ring, Jeff Hardy then on the microphone starts trying to call out Sheamus, where you would think that he called him out before Sheamus actually started going to the ring.
Yeah.
Sheamus then shows up about who do you think still cares about you? They're tired of you. How many failed comebacks can one man have before we realize he's never going to truly come back? They eventually go in a ring brawl. Jeff Hardy gets the upper hand in the brawl. Michael Cole now calls it no longer a twist of fury. It's back to a twist of fate. And it's a swanton. And Jeff Hardy then poses on the ramp. And Sheamus like immediately gets up after the swanton. Like, he's just immediately up in there angry. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm guessing we're not going to have any type of... I mean, they may just suddenly throw a match on Money in the Bank with the two of them. It hasn't been announced yet. But it could still be obviously built up even more than what it is now. But obviously, we knew for weeks now this is where they were going. Now we'll see what happens, because now the two of them have gotten their hands on each other.
Well, the thing that I think is weird is I couldn't tell if I think this was a taped episode. I don't think it was live, because Mandy looked exactly the same as she did the week before. Like, same exact makeup, same gear, everything. So I think they did tape this episode like last week, or whenever it was.
Well, they were doing a thing of like one live, one taped, one live, one taped.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but I think they were like taping it like either all in that same day.
Yeah. All in the same.
And then like the next, how I don't know if it was like they did SmackDown Friday Night Live, and then Saturday they taped the next week SmackDown. Mm-hmm. I don't know how the schedule was, But as far as Money in the Bank, like, is Money in the Bank going to be live, or did they already tape that? I have no idea.
The match itself, they've already filmed.
Yes, I know that. Yeah. But I meant everything else on the card.
I don't know. I know
I
Mania was taped. You would think they would have taped it. Yeah,
you know, like, we're never going to know, like, that, you know, they could have taped it all in a different order, and then they show it in whatever order they want too.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
It just depends on I guess, commentary. If something happens earlier in the show that leads to later in the show, then, you know, that'd be the only way we could, like, figure out. They're like,
or if you can tell there was an obvious cutaway.
Yes. Yeah.
Which you'll occasionally see.
Yeah. So I feel like they already taped this before. So they may announce a match with two of them. I thought Sheamus's promo was good. I liked everything he said. I don't know. Jeff Hardy, I don't know if I can get behind Jeff Hardy. Like, not that, like, he's not a good babyface. I just feel that his promo, like Braun's, it's got that, his voice is exactly the same. Like that. I've been through so much stuff, and I don't know if I can do this again. You're like, okay, like, I don't know if I can dig down deep enough to do this. And you're like, okay, like, and it was like one of those where, like, if you watched his career from years ago, he did that one promo like that in that voice that really got over, and then he just kept doing promos in that voice and never moved on. So I mean,
you know someone else who can, you know, cut promos about what they've been through and trying to overcome stuff and have the power of the fans behind them and everything? Mustafa Ali. And you know what? We'd enjoy that because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
We've had this Jeff Hardy story since he feuded with CM Punk God knows how many years ago.
Yeah, exactly. What was that, like 2009, 2010 maybe? 10 years ago?
Right. And this is the same story, just with more arrests. I don't mean to make that sound rude, but it's true.
I think what they should do is have him go against Sheamus. Sheamus beats him.
Yeah.
And does, like, a pretty good beatdown on him. And then we get Jeff Hardy turn heel. And be like, I don't need you, fan. You know what I mean? Like, flip it. I don't need, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's something different. Because if not, where are we going with it? Right? Is he going to get a world title shot? Probably not. Is he going to win the IC title? Probably. I could see him coming back and Sami Zayn coming. He loses it to Sami, loses it to him, and that's how we get Sheamus the IC title.
and that's all I want in this for Sheamus. I want because I want him to have everything.
Because that's what. But he said Jeff Hardy had everything too. But Jeff Hardy didn't have Money in the Bank and that kind of stuff. Right?
He's won championships. Yeah. Hardy's won all the championships, but Sheamus also won Money in the Bank. He's also won the Royal Rumble. He's also won the King of the Ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think only person's Edge. And I think Edge, I don't know if Edge has all of them or if he was missing one as well.
I think he's won all of them. Maybe U.S. title?
Has he been U.S. champ? It's the only thing I can think of. Because he's won the Rumble. He's won Money in the Bank. He's won all the other titles multiple times.
Yeah.
It's really.
Then I think if they're gonna do this, if say we have Jeff Hardy win the IC title, I think you have Sheamus help him win.
Ooh, because he knows he can beat him.
Yes, and then he goes, "Okay, well, I helped you win. Now I want a title shot." You know what I mean? Prove that you're better than me. Prove that this your light hasn't, you know, the lights that I could smell haven't been burnt out.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Face to face with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt, like you were just alluding to a moment ago. Same exact promo from Braun that we've been getting.
Mm-hmm.
You know, him just saying, you know, Bray didn't create me. And Wyatt was threatened by me back then. He should be more threatened now. Say it to my face. Out comes Bray. He's like, you know, a creator knows his creation better than everyone. You need to come home. I can make you special again. I just have to remove that burden so you can return home, as that burden being the Universal Championship. Tries to hand him the black sheep mask, and Braun then says, I am home as the Universal Champion. I will keep being it. Okay, bye. And it was just like, okay, what was the point of this?
Yeah, there was like no need for a face-to-face if there's not going to be any like physical like altercation between them.
And nothing with the Fiend either.
Yeah. I thought what they should have done, I would have said, is because they're taping everything, is those like puppets should have like appeared like over Braun's shoulder and like talking to his ear. You know what I mean? Him like trying to like swat them away or something. At least something to do where like something you're never going to be able to do anywhere else, unless it's like taped backstage. Just to really kind of get into his head.
You could have had the puppets surround the ring like the Shield did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta beat up all these puppets.
I just think that would have been at least something different to do. Because if not, it's just I don't know. I think he's a bad champion. I could care less than being.
He's a bad. Right, I mean, like we talked about, I think last week or the week before. He is not a good baby face. His name is the monster among men. I should not be cheering for a monster. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
If Braun was a heel as the champion, and we were getting a similar type Braun back with his feud that he had with Roman a few years ago, I would 100% be behind that guy as a champion. Because like, who the hell can beat this guy?
Yeah.
Like, who's going to beat him? But we don't have that right now. But what we do have. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just thought both. I thought it was just a very, probably the worst segment on the show. It was just real boring. Like, I am not hyped for this match one bit.
Yeah, it's not good when the Universal Championship match, the segment for it is just randomly in the middle of the show, and it really felt like the filler segment of the show. And this is your Universal Championship.
I mean, all I want to see is how the match ends now. Like, that's all I want. Like, I just want to see how it ends and then where we go from here. I'm like, okay, because I feel like Braun's going to retain, and then.
Do you think this match will go over 10 minutes?
No.
I don't.
No way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a short match.
I also feel like, I think weirdly, I think Bray's going to let him win in a weird way. Because I think Bray knows. Bray's like, I knows I can't beat him, but the Fiend can. So it just gives him an excuse to get the Fiend after him. I don't know. Yeah. I just think it's going to be real fast.
We'll see. Women's tag team match: Lacey Evans and Tamina versus Sasha and Bayley. You would think Tamina should come out with her "Nobody Meaner Than Tamina" T-shirt, but she doesn't.
Well, they got to change it.
You would think over the last week they would have changed it by now. I mean, the match was all right. It was, decent back and forth tag match. There was Samoan drop. Tamina hits Bayley with Samoan drop. Shocker here, non-title match. The champion gets pinned by the challenger. Like, you could have had Lacey and Sasha be involved in the finish. Whichever one wins, it doesn't even matter which one of them wins the match. But you could have had that, or I mean, you could even had, say, Lacey hits the women's right on Sasha, goes for the pin. Bayley tries to run to make the save. Super kick by Tamina, knocks her out. They get one up on them, but the champ wasn't pinned.
Yeah,
the champ got one up, but the champ wasn't pinned. We know based off this, Bayley's going to retain in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, like I almost wish it would have been Bayley sending Sasha to get the loss, and then at least to add more fuel to that fire where it's like, you keep making me lose. You're the one that's making me lose, add to Sasha's narrative. Like, well, I want to be champ. Why am I, playing second fiddle to you? Like, I know I'm better. I don't get why they had that happen. And I didn't know Samoa drop is her finisher.
She's got 3 different moves that she's beat people with: the Samoan drop, the super kick, and the superfly splash, which she's honestly never really done all that well.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just worried for all her knee issues that she's had over the years. You don't need to do the splash anymore.
Yeah. But it's also like, okay, well, you do a Samoan drop and you pin people. Nia Jax does it and doesn't pin people with it. How does that make any sense? Like, if anyone's doing that as a finisher, it's Nia. And like, she could just do that and just, lay back and just pin someone with it. Like, it's over. Like, that's, I don't know. Such a weird finisher. I mean, but also really the Bailey to belly is a finisher. It's not anymore. She doesn't really do it much. But if you're really, trying to,
her elbow drop was fantastic.
It was, yes. I did think that was good.
That was a perfect elbow drop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Tamina's she's just too mean.
I feel like all of the participants, all the Money in the Bank participants for the female side is like just all Bizarro world. Like, we'll get into it later, but that's my at least thinking of it right now.
Which is the perfect segue into Dana Brooke and Carmella backstage.
Exactly, yeah.
Cutting their promo where, where it's like anything can happen. Dana Brooke, I have just as good a chance of anyone to win the match. Carmella, when I grab that contract again, I'll prove why Mella is money. Hey, why do we need this?
I think just to remind that they're in the match.
But we had to do it with just like the cheesy catchphrases. We couldn't have done. We couldn't have done something else of like, why didn't Kayla ask? Is like, well, what if the two of you are both on the ladder trying to reach the briefcase? What's going to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And because they're friends or whatever, and it could have been, like Dana would have said something like, it's even though we're friends, may the best woman win, and Carmella was like, yeah, and I'm the best.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, like just like a hint, just a scotch of tension.
Yes,
they're not getting at all in this.
It's just setting up a Carmella heel turn. That's what I'm seeing from like a million miles away. Because she wasn't saying that Mella's money before. She stopped saying that after she came face. That was like her heel persona part of her. So I think, I don't know. We'll get into predictions in a little bit, but I just think why didn't they did nothing to like, or even say like, hey, we also have a tag match with the tag titles next week. Nope, nothing on that either. No women's tag. I think the women's tag titles are more disappointing than the 24/7 title. Right?
There's a hot take.
24/7 title is held by an NFL player right now.
Longest reigning 24/7 champ in history.
Yes, and it's going to be fought for during NFL games somehow or practices. The women's title, tag team titles have been barely seen and are just,
Well, I disagree with that a little bit. Because they have been seen. They've just been randomly thrown in matches. Now, we haven't seen them in the last 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But they have been. But again, with the whole Alexa promo in their beef on trying to get a title shot against the Kabuki Warriors was that Asuka and Kairi Sane would only stay on Raw.
Yeah.
And we never would see them. Now Alexa and Nikki have won, and they have not left SmackDown.
Yeah. Or even really been on SmackDown besides doing like interviews with Strowman. Like, it's not like they've been like, I don't know. I just think it's, especially now where you're at the PC Center taping all this, where It's not like they're like, oh man, they have to fly from so and so to get to here to be on Raw and then NXT and then SmackDown. You're shooting everything in the same building, so you can just tell them, hey, we need you here Monday, we need you here Wednesday, we need you here Friday. Like,
Yeah.
that's the days we need you here. So, and also I think it would do something for those titles, so that if they came out and go, we're just going to randomly have they could do their Cena challenge of like, we're going to randomly have a match each on every show and just show how dominant we are as champions. And I don't care if they beat everyone. That's cool, because then you're like building them up. And if they're having 3 matches a week on every show, then like it's something interesting to look forward to.
And then you could have the Iconic surprise and win the tag titles and make everything wonderful again.
And then they won't defend them.
I miss the Iconics.
I know, me too.
Main event, 6-man tag, Corbin, Nakamura, and Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. And their mystery partner, was it really a mystery that it was going to be Otis? I mean, you had all the other Money in the Bank people. Yeah. I mean, like, if you're building up, like, a mystery, you know, if all of a sudden Roman Reigns showed up, you're like, okay, that's a surprise.
Yes.
Like, all of a sudden Otis's music hits, and you see Bryan and Gulak who are like, yeah, we got one half of a tag team as our third man. Uh-huh. Where is Tucker in all this?
Tucker's going to be...
He's got to turn heel, doesn't he? He's got to turn on Otis.
Back on that garbage trucker in that whatever truck they drive.
Oh, God.
I feel bad for him, because I think he was really becoming a good standout star on SmackDown with his singles matches against Ziggler were good.
Matches. Yeah.
His tag matches were good.
He's getting better at talking. I mean, he's building himself up.
But then, well, I'll save it for later. I'll save what I was going to say.
So we have the 6-man tag, and again, I'm also still confused because Drew Gulak still does not have his own music again. It still makes no sense to me. And then Drew Gulak loses to a not finishing move. Corbin beats him with the deep 6, which I love that move. But how many people kick out of the deep 6? And then no one kicks out of the end of days. But Gulak gets pinned by it. They all start brawling afterwards. Otis, Bryan, and Gulak take out Nakamura and Cesaro. Leaves Corbin on the other side. He's not in the ring. He's like, hey, you know what? The guy's got the upper hand on my partners, but I just won the match. I got the momentum to go to Money in the Bank. I should just leave.
Uh-huh.
But you know what? The briefcase is up there, and even though match, it means absolutely nothing to get it, I'm going to get a ladder and climb and grab it. And then Daniel Bryan's like, no, I'm going to climb the meaningless ladder to get the meaningless briefcase for this meaningless ending. But then Otis shows up and is like, no, if anyone's going to climb up this meaningless ladder for this meaningless briefcase to be the meaningless Money in the Bank, even though it's not the official match, it's going to be me. For 5 minutes, they're fighting to climb the ladder when no one needs to climb the ladder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why this happened.
I have no idea.
Why did this happen?
I was like, okay, the match is over. And then I'm watching. I'm like, okay, so Corbin's just going to go up there and, whatever, grab the briefcase. And it's like, okay, here comes Daniel Bryan. Okay, here comes Otis. And Otis can't climb up the ladder because apparently ladders can't hold his weight. Yet we've seen people like
Mark Henry,
way bigger than him. Mark Henry, Braun Strowman. I'm pretty sure the Big Show's probably climbed the ladder somewhere along the way, maybe.
Yeah.
Apparently, this ladder, Otis must weigh like 2 tons because he can't, use this ladder. I mean, I understand what they're doing it to set up to where he brings out this crazy ladder, which is fine. Okay, I know we're setting seeds for that. That's fine because I think it'll be interesting when it happens. But for 5 minutes they have to do this. And this is where you're like, okay, you're filming this all in the same location. Well, guess who else is in this match? 3 other people from Monday Night Raw. Why didn't they just show up and just start beating the crap out of them? And then at least, even if they're all brawling at the end, and then also, guess what? There's girls in the match too. It's all happening. You're selling this match is that everyone is trying to do this at the same time. So where's Carmella? Where's Dana Brooke? Where's Lacey? Like, why couldn't everyone get involved? And even if it just comes down to like 2 guys and 2 girls on top of the ladder, like just reaching up for it, and that's how SmackDown goes off the air, it'd make me want to watch the pay-per-view way more.
Absolutely, because again, let's say, there are some people who only watch Raw and not SmackDown, and vice versa. So you only see you only see the the photo of the people in the match. You might not be too familiar with what they really look like. I mean, Shayna Baszler, we haven't seen her much on SmackDown. Aleister Black, you haven't seen too much on SmackDown. So there are some people. So yeah, I completely agree. Why didn't you have the 3 Raw participants, and then you had the 6 women? They all just suddenly show up, and SmackDown goes off the air, the last show before the pay-per-view, with the 12 of them. No one even has to climb the ladder. It's just a 12 of them brawling.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's just like, and this is going to happen in corporate headquarters. How is anyone going to get to the roof?
Yeah.
Tune in this Sunday. And
I just think it's like,
there you go.
Because you could have had Daniel Bryan get taken out by Cesaro and them again. Like, at least so then he's not a factor. So you're thinking like, like when Corbin was climbing, you're like, oh, okay, whatever. I just thought it was going to end that way. Like, there's no one here. And then you have like AJ Styles do like a jump on the rope, it's like a springboard onto the ladder out of nowhere. And you're like, oh shit, AJ Styles is here.
Right.
I don't know. There's like, to me, it doesn't, I'm still like, whatever about, like, I think the match is going to be fun, and I get they already shot it. But it's like, you're trying to hype this thing as something you've never done before. So why not make it very interesting to where all this stuff is happening? Like, even like have like Shayna Baszler like choking out like Daniel Bryan or something. You know what I mean? Like,
just have them start hitting each other. All right.
Yeah. I mean, but she's like she's badass. Like, she would do that though. Like I could see her like ripping. She's definitely gonna rip one of the dudes off the ladder to try to get up to that thing. If it comes down to that. Like if there's one girl in the match that's going to go against or at least do something to one of the guys, it's Shayna Baszler.
I disagree. Nia is going to body slam Otis. I can see Nia slamming one of the guys.
Yeah.
But
I could see
see
her and Baszler like trying to compete, like, but also it's like,
sure.
Oh, you did it? Oh, I can do it too. Kind of thing.
Well, let's get into the predictions then, because since we're filming this on Saturday, we're actually able to make predictions for the pay-per-view because it hasn't happened yet. So let's break this down. It's a SmackDown heavy pay-per-view, by the way, which I like. There's, besides the Money in the Bank matches, as of this morning on WWE.com, there's only one Raw match on this pay-per-view. So let's start. SmackDown Women's Championship, Bayley versus Tamina. I know we talked about it a little earlier, but are we convinced that Bayley is retaining?
I mean, I'm not convinced Bayley's retaining. I'm still thinking Tamina's going to be the Jinder Mahal of this, of 2020. Hey, this year has been so unpredictable so far. Why not just throw this into it? I'm saying Tamina wins.
I mean, I don't know how it's so unpredictable. I clearly predicted that in May we would be doing the show via Skype at our homes. What are you talking about?
I do remember
that. Yeah, we talked about that, right? I mean, I could see Tamina winning by DQ, and they actually continue it.
Mm-hmm.
But Bayley, I feel like, will still have the championship after this match.
Gotcha. I can see Sasha getting involved too. Still,
Sure. Fatal four-way for the SmackDown tag titles. New Day defending against Lucha House Party, defending against Forgotten Sons, defending against Miz and Morrison. Hey, hey, ho, ho. You go first for this one.
I mean, I'm gonna say New Day retains. I don't see why they would take it off of them. There's not really a point. And they just won them, so like, let's just keep the New Day going, and then I don't know where this goes for anybody in this match. Though.
I mean, I say New Day. If I were to pick something, I'm gonna say one of the guys in New Day pins one of the Lucha House Party guys. Then you got a few with Forgotten Sons and New Day because they weren't the ones pinned. And then the question really is what happens with Miz and Morrison.
Well, I was gonna say that during their match. I feel like Morrison was like they were both trying to outshine each other.
Yep.
And the Miz kept getting, last week he kept like just getting destroyed every time he was in the ring. And then this time he was the one that got the pin too.
Yeah.
So it's like they're both trying to one up each other as it's going, I think. And that's where like they're gonna explode, the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Universal Championship, Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. Braun's retaining right now. He'll lose to defeat, but if it's Bray, Braun's winning.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see how Braun's gonna lose to Bray.
Yeah. WWE Championship, Drew McIntyre defending against Seth Rollins. I think it's too soon for McIntyre to lose the title. I can see this feud continuing, but McIntyre should retain.
Yeah, I think McIntyre retains. I don't see it continuing because I did see like Edge is going to be on Raw on Monday. Edge and Orton are back on Raw. So either we get Orton going into a feud with McIntyre, and then I think Rollins and Edge start a feud together because they had that beef from before. I think they're hyping it like you're going to see a confrontation between Edge and Orton, but then really it's going to be like Rollins is going to be pissed because you lost and go after Edge.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what I'm guessing.
What's the next pay-per-view after Money in the Bank? Is it Extreme Rules? Is that next?
Maybe. I'd have to look, but
okay.
Yeah.
And then we go to both Money in the Bank matches taking place in Stanford in WWE headquarters. The male side, Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, Otis, AJ Styles, Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio. The women's side, Lacey Evans, Dana Brooke, Carmella, Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, and Asuka. Pick them.
I'm going to call this right now. Now I forgot Mysterio's in this match. Shayna Baszler is choking Rey Mysterio out for sure, like for sure. Or she is ripping him off a ladder and just putting him right in that. What's her finishing move? I can't think of the name of it right now.
I was going to say Coquina Clutch, but that's
yeah, that's me too. I know. Yeah, I know. Whatever it's called, he's getting knocked out. Like, sorry, Ray. I mean, you're a legend in this business, so it's not going to hurt you one bit. But you're getting choked out by Baszler. I think this is going to be a fun match to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be entertaining.
I think probably not, but this could be something they do again, depending how good it goes or how interesting it is. And I'm trying to think who I would think would win. I mean, who would I feel like AJ needs a win just because of having that Boneyard match. And I think it'd be cool if he was Money in the Bank because I think that would be a way to get him onto SmackDown long run. Now there's no Gallows and Anderson. Like, he really has no ties to Raw. He can come back, reclaim his house that he built,
Yeah.
And I mean, he hasn't really done. There's been a bunch of stuff on Raw, but I think at least you get in the briefcase to have him have it to wherever later cash it in. I think it's either him or Aleister Black. I don't think anyone on SmackDown has a real chance of winning. If it's Corbin, I'm going to be real upset because that's just. I'm just going to be like, oh my gosh! Now he's got a briefcase as well. As far as the women's side of it, I also don't think anyone on SmackDown has a chance either. Who is it? It's Asuka,
Nia, Shayna, Carmella, Dana, and Lacey.
Oh my gosh. I mean, Lacey maybe, but at least it would catapult her, at least put her back up.
Sure.
Which would also, but and also like, is the NXT title now in play of like a cash-in attempt? I think it is.
I would think so too. At this point, why not?
Yeah. And then I think they give it. I think Asuka's going to get it because I think she's been the star of 2020. She's been the star in the women's division of 2020. Becky's been like on the back burner. Who knows where she's been? She just hasn't been at tapings, or they just haven't used her. Asuka, since they've been to the Performance Center, has been the star of almost every show.
And she's been on every show. Every show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
So I think she deserves it. I think it'd be interesting. Maybe she turns it into like, Kyrie Sane has the umbrella or some kind of like different, interesting briefcase situation. Yeah, I think I'm going to say Asuka.
Yeah, I completely agree with you as far as Asuka's been like, the MVP of the women's division this year so far in the Performance Center. We've talked about on the show. She's been all over the place, wrestling, tag matches, singles matches, whatever it may be. As far as my predictions, I'm a little annoyed I had you go first because I feel like you stole my AJ Styles script because what you said was exactly what I'm. First off, as far as on the men's side, AJ is the only one in that 6 that I could see would be the type of guy to run and cash in, seize an opportunity, be sneaky, and having the push at Mania.
Corbin too, but yeah.
Seen Corbin do it.
Yeah.
But so having a big push at Mania, losing the match, not really seen since until now, like this last week or so. I think it makes sense for AJ to win Money in the Bank, and then, as you said, maybe the Fiend takes out Braun on a SmackDown once we're back in front of crowds. I don't see any cash-in happening before crowds because they need that PR. They need that pop.
Yeah.
But at some point, AJ will show up on SmackDown since Gallows and Anderson are gone. It's the house that AJ Styles built. He cashes in on SmackDown. I 1,000% agree with you with that. The women's side, well, I would love seeing Asuka. I am picking Nia. And the reason I'm picking Nia is you want to continue storyline. What catapulted the man when Nia Jax broke her freaking face?
Yeah.
So you have Nia get her payback or her thank you from elevating Becky, cashing in on her. Nia is the one who takes the title from Becky, and then they go on and have their feud.
Okay, yep, I agree. That all sounds good. And I also think that Nia needs to hit Becky in the face with that briefcase to kind of get her another,
or just another punch, square in the face.
Oh yeah. I just think it'd be symbolic with the briefcase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's her, like, she like almost like, even on. I mean, I don't think it should happen until there's a crowd back, but there was the preview for Raw was that Becky Lynch is going to confront the Money in the Bank winner, and you're like, okay, well, Becky's on Raw, so the winner is going to come from Raw. Why would you even say that? Why would you give that preview? Just say Becky Lynch is going to be back on Raw. Will someone from Raw win the Money in the Bank and be able to confront her? Like, I just think it'd be like interesting if that. I agree with you. Nia comes out, is celebrating with the briefcase. Becky comes out, and they're just kind of talking, and Nia just clocks her in the face out of nowhere with the briefcase. Yeah, I mean, but I think it would suck if there's no crowd. But I just think that would be a shock.
I can see the feud still continuing with Becky and Shayna, and like they have some type of crazy gimmick match at a pay-per-view where Becky retains and then Nia cashes in right after that match.
Yeah, because I feel like with the bigger guys that have had it, like I don't know. There hasn't been like a crazy like good cash in with them, right? Like, because most of it's like Kane's was like
well,
that same night.
Kane's was memorable because it was less than an hour later.
Yeah,
That's why Kane's was so, because he just went through that crazy match and then just did that. As far as but he was really the only, because Braun then announced when he was going to cash in, so Braun's was pointless. Kane's is really the only like giant or big person to win it besides Braun.
What if Otis wins?
Then poor Tucker.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say Tucker's gonna turn on Otis in this match. That's why we haven't seen him. He's gonna be he's jealous. You know what I mean? Like he's been like thrown to the side.
Yeah.
And I was gonna say something, but I'll tell you off camera because I don't want if people aren't watching yet. Then not that I know anything.
Wow, you're teasing everyone watching this, and they're like, you're not gonna hear. No, out with it. Go ahead. As long as it's not any type of spoiler.
I can't tell if it is or not, so that's why I don't want to talk about it. Yeah.
There you go, people. Tom the tease. No longer Tom the calm. Tom the tease right there. Well, Tom, if people tweet at you to request to find out what you were saying, will you respond to that?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and how can people then tweet you and reach out to you?
Find me Twitter, Instagram, Tom the Calm. Also, check out my Etsy store, Connolly Central. Buy some rings from me.
There you go.
Still printing.
I was going to say, and still with the masks?
As of right now, they have caught up on orders, but
okay,
they have like a reserve. They've done. Last time I checked their website, they've done over 16,000. There was 100 people printing for the last 5 weeks or so. So as of now, they said they have a surplus that they're just kind of like, if the orders come in, they can fulfill them. But I mean, I'm still like waiting. If they say, hey, start printing again, my printers will be up and running.
So, awesome.
Yeah. Awesome. That's at 3dagentsofshield.com.
There you go. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Josh_Tariff. Guys, I got a huge Josh Talks this week. The man formerly known as Darren Young, Fred Rosser, hangs out with me, former tag champ, member of the Nexus. He shares a few stories that I personally, honestly, have never heard before. So if I haven't heard it, there's a good chance you probably haven't heard it. So you definitely want to check that out. My Christian Rosenberg Pro Wrestling Tee store is still open, prowrestlingtees.com/Christian Rosenberg. You can still find me on Cameo. And, of course, if you want to follow all the gossip and reality that is on TV, follow AfterBuzz on Twitter at AfterBuzzTV. Thanks so much for tuning in this week. Brian and Gabby will be back next week. For Tom Connolly, I'm Josh Tariff, and we will see you later.